Yeah, so I'm trying to get this under 4 minutes. Let's see if I could do it, right? Share a new thing you learn about global Christianity. The new thing I learned was Pentecostalism is the fastest growing form of Christianity. And I did not know that. I really thought it was Catholicism. And, I think that, you know, with Pentecostalism, when I was reading the elements of it, I noticed that some of the elements, were very familiar to me. And, the participation in service from the congregation, miraculous signs. I remember growing up in a church just like that. It was an evangelical church, but it really was heavily charismatic and, the tongues, everything. So, and I think it just helps me, to know that, to know a little bit more about another denomination and looking at the elements that why people make and why is it so attractive to other people, especially in the global south. In the book, they said it's because of the primal elements, and I think that does have something to do with it. When you think about the global south, it seems like there's a lot, it's a very ancient, rich cultures in the global south, and something that's considered primal, I think, is actually probably more real to them, in their context, you know. So, yeah. So why is it important to you? Well, I'm sorry, choose one thing from this week's readings. Well, Andrew Draper had a very good reading that the professor provided us, and he was equating whiteness with idolatry, and I think he's right. And I also was looking really at the opposite, kind of in my context, which is if because what happens when you're bombarded with whiteness all around you, white Jesus, white saints. I went to Catholic school basically my whole life, and you're bombarded with that. Your immediate reaction is to, your actually your it's like to counteract the whiteness is to go black. You get a black Jesus, you get black saints, and and all that. But that shouldn't be the response. The response should be Jesus, and it's the same thing that if a white person comes across somebody who is like you know just black, 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 pro-black person, with not a pro-black person, but like a racist black person, and everything is black to them, and that's all black. Black, they believes in black superiority, and I think that's kind of what the whiteness is. It's a belief in white superiority, and that in itself is idolatry. And I think that we ought to focus on Jesus, not the way Jesus looked or whatnot. I mean, it's not. He was Asian, as the video lecture had stated. So anyway, what advocacy justice issue are you? Well, I did mention to you guys about the plant that our church is involved with. We're trying to get them to cut down chloroprene. That's not going too well with the new administration, as they are eliminating people from the EPA. So that's not going too well. But anyway, we're doing our best. And the question I have is, with Christianity being some of the Mongols were Christians as well. Why is it, and we look at the Crusades, and why is Christianity associated with such violence?